Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Wandering Wednesday. Mr. Coffee and I are here to talk about Fort Lauderdale to Key West. I know you're thinking, Michelle, of course, we all know how to get to from Fort Lauderdale to Key West, but you know what? There's some of you who have been asking the questions about, now, how does that work again? And what should I do? And what are my options? And Fort Lauderdale is a really good jumping off spot to start your Florida Keys Key West adventure. You can fly into Lauderdale from a lot of places in the country, and it's a great way to plant yourself as you're heading down to the southernmost city in the continental United States. But whether you are a nature lover and you're going to want to go explore all of the things that you can explore on the way down to Key West, or you're a history buff and you want to check out all the historical spots, you are going to love the adventure from Fort Lauderdale to Key West. Because, of course, when you land in Key West, you are going to want to enjoy a slice of key lime pie. But if you are driving down, you're going to enjoy all of those crystal clear waters all the way down. There are lots of other tips and ideas and things to do and explore in the Florida Keys over on our website at FunInKeyWest.com. And I hope you head over there and check it out. But let's look into it. Basically, there are two ways to get from Fort Lauderdale to Key West, and you can either drive or fly. But let's check them out. There's options within options. Option one, flying. Obviously, that is going to be your fastest way to get to Key West. There are direct flights from Fort Lauderdale to Key West International Airport, and it's about an hour-ish to fly. Why would you do this? You're short on time. You just want to get to Key West. You've already done the drive. You just want to get down to Key West and get the party started. It's an easy way to get there. You're going to land at the airport there in Key West. You can hop an Uber or a taxi and head over to your place that you're staying at, be it a hotel, an Airbnb, a B&B. I always recommend checking out the pricing and where you want to stay and what you want to do. And Old Town is going to give you a lot of flexibility. So if you stay in Old Town, you're going to be able to do a lot more walking to where you want to explore. Versus if you're in Newtown or Midtown, you're probably going to be taking transportation to get down to Duval Street. Or if you stay over on Stock Island, you for sure are going to be having some transportation to get over there. But you don't need to worry about if you're flying in speed limits, parking tickets, where to park your car, or anything like that, or traffic on the turnpike. You are covered because you're just hopping in from Lauderdale into Key West and just grabbing that baggage. And if you play the carry-on game like I do, you're just going to walk off that plane and out you head for your adventure. Now, here's the cons of flying in. It can be spendy. Airline tickets today are not like they were. It can be spendy. There is a limited time availability, so they're not flying every hour on the hour, and it may not fit your schedule, or you may have a long layover. And you're definitely going to need transportation from the airport to wherever you're going to go. And keep in mind, if you're taking one of the taxis, they charge by zone in Key West. And so it's going to be about usually 20-ish bucks or so to take that cab from the airport to Old Town. And depending on how many people are in your cab, you could have a per person charge. So be aware of what that charge is going to be. Now, here's a tip if you really want to fly in. Sometimes if you fly into Miami or you fly into Lauderdale and then just hop up to Miami, it's about a half hour distance or so, you could maybe save some money flying in from Miami to Key West. Check the airports. There's something funny sometimes about how those pricing works on airfare, but always check. Is it cheaper to fly from Miami to Key West or Lauderdale to Key West? Now, the second option is to drive. And this is the most scenic And I have to say, a beautiful, and it's a very adventurous drive. And if you have the ability to take a few days to take your time to get down the Keys, that makes it even that much more fun. Stop in Key Largo or stop in Island Murata, stop in Big Pine, explore the Keys. If you just have time just to do some little short stops along the way and can't stay the night, then, plan some time to do that. You're going to take, usually, depending on how GPS sends you, she'll either send you on the turnpike, usually, and then you'll head over on US 1, and then you'll be on the iconic Overseas Highway. And you're going to pass through all of those keys. You're going to go through Key Largo and Big Pine, and you're going to see Bay of Honda, and you're going to go over the 7-mile bridge. It's going to be a lot of fun. It is the ultimate road trip. That's a pro. It's the ultimate road trip. If you've never done it, you should do it at least once in your life. I say this is a bucket list thing. You're going to get breathtaking views of the Atlantic Ocean and of mangroves and intercoastal waterways and all of that. The Gulf of Mexico, it's going to blow your mind of how beautiful it is if you've not seen it. You can stop for food, key lime pie, just saying. If you wanted to stop at some of the state parks or some of the other places, you can stop, snorkel, enjoy the beach. It just depends on what your time schedule is. There's a lot of hidden gems in the Keys as you head down and as you come back up. If you are heading down and plan to not stay the night along the Keys, but Key West is your ultimate destination, there are a lot of opportunities for you to do one-day trips. So you can, explore all the water activities, you can hit the state parks like Bay of Honda, and you can go see those cute little key deer over at the Key Deer Refuge. Here's the cons for driving down. It could take 3.5, 4 hours. Remember, it's usually one lane down, one lane up, and you are not doing 70, 80 miles an hour. You're going through communities, and there's going to be traffic, and it could take a while. Depending on if there's tournaments or if it's lobster season, you could end up with a sizable delay somewhere along the lines. There are limited public rest stops. Keep that in mind. There are a lot of newly built Circle Ks as you go down. They're very clean, they're very nice, but I always say fill up with gas, go in and buy something. Just don't walk into places and use their restroom. I'm funny about that. Maybe it's just me, but that's how I think about that. If you are driving, some people say they want to drive and they're going to bring snacks and things along the way. I think it's always an opportunity to have a snack or two with you, but take advantage of things that you see along the road. Maybe you see an ice cream place you want to try. Maybe you see a place serving key lime pie. Maybe you're going to stop for lunch and just enjoy a view. They do patrol, so be careful of those speed limits and don't pass where you're not supposed to. It's dangerous, and we want to get you safely down and back up the Keys. If you are renting a car, maybe splurge, get a convertible or something. I don't know. I've done that. We've done that before. We went in to pick up our rental for our drive back up the Keys we were flying out of Lauderdale. And the rental car company was like, hey guys, we need help bringing a convertible back up. Would you mind driving it up for us? And we're like, sign us up. We'll do that. At no extra charge, we were able to take advantage of that dream thing of driving the Keys with the top down. I have to tell you, that was memorable. If you don't want the expense or the hassle of renting a car, you can take a bus. Believe it or not, Greyhound does go from Lauderdale down to Key West. You've got Greyhound and you also have FlixBus. And usually they pick up around the airport and they'll drop off somewhere. They've got a designated spot. I think Greyhound's is over on Caroline Street. The advantage to this is it's economical. It's under usually $40 one way. But you're not going to get the opportunity to stop along the way. And it's about 6 hours down because they do make stops along the way because you can pick up the Greyhound, especially the Greyhound shuttle, various points along the Keys to get either down to Key West or from Key West back up the Keys. So if you're just wanting to explore the Keys and don't have a car, think about doing a Greyhound. That could be interesting. Imagine all the people you could meet along the way. Sitting there talking to people, I was on the website, and Greyhound does offer an option that you can pay extra so that nobody sits by you. But isn't that the adventure of getting on a Greyhound bus and going down the Florida Keys? Isn't that the Kenny Chesney song? You got on the bus and headed all the way to the end of the line. Imagine just doing all that and nobody sitting by you and talking to you and meeting a new friend. That's part of the adventure, right? So if you get the opportunity and you're traveling solo, don't pay the extra to get that keep that seat empty. Let somebody sit there, meet somebody new. Imagine the stories you could tell. Again, some of the pros about doing this is both Greyhound and FlixBus, they're pretty inexpensive. They're usually about under $40 on a one-way ticket. You're going to Greyhounds today are pretty comfy. They got nice, comfy coach seats, and so you can be relaxed and enjoy the view. And most of them have Wi-Fi and power outlets and some other onboard services that you can do. You can pay online, especially I think if you pay online, so sometimes you get a discount, and if you pay in advance and you're not doing it last minute, sometimes you can get a discount. The cons, again, like I said, this is not the fastest way to get from Fort Lauderdale to Key West. Like I said, it's going to be at least 6 hours, and you may have limited seat options. It could be full, and you may have to wait for the next bus. So think about this. What's the best way to get from Fort Lauderdale to Key West? Well, I think it's just going to depend on what kind of adventure or what kind of experience you want to have. Are you short on time and you just want to get there? Then do a direct flight. If you want the full Florida Keys experience, drive it yourself. If you're budget conscious or eco conscious, take the bus. And Max is saying, okay, I agree. This is good stuff. No matter how you get to Key West, you're always going to have a great choice because you're going to end up in Key West. You're going to explore the rich history and the marine life and so much fun down in Key West. When you're in town, I know. If you head over to FunInKeyWest.com, there is a ton of guides in there under what to do on our travel partners we work with, so you can book directly through our site and at no extra cost to you. It just supports us. But be sure to check out things like the Conch train. I love hopping on the Conch train. To me, it's the Jungle Cruise, if you're a Disney fanatic like I am. It's the Jungle Cruise of Key West. It's campy humor. You can get your orientation if you've never been to Key West, or it's just cool to you can hop on, hop off, and it's a great way to get around Key West. You do have to buy a ticket, but if you're looking for an inexpensive, meaning free way to hop around Old Town, check out the Duval Loop. If you head over to the municipal website under Duval Loop, you can see their schedule. And of course, it's mandatory. I'd almost say it's the law. It's mandatory. Get a slice of key lime pie when you are in Key West, or get multiple slices of key lime pie. And don't forget to head over to Mallory Square and toast a sunset, because I think that's absolutely critical thing to do when in Key West, no matter how long you're there. I am Michelle with Fun in Key West, and I am so glad that you stopped by today. I appreciate it every time that you guys show up, and I appreciate all the support that you guys give us. And head over to FunInKeyWest.com, and I want you to scroll all the way down to the bottom. There's 2 things you can do down there. You can sign up for our happy hour list, which gets you on our newsletter and gets you in the know of what's happening. And you can also sign up for our book club. And we are doing some exciting things. Our books are all tied to Key West in some form or fashion. And we have a private Facebook group, and everybody is having a blast and having so much fun over in that Facebook group. I am Michelle. You guys have a great day. Thank you for stopping by, and we will talk to you later.